everyone, good morning. Welcome to today's Venturas Group's annual flagship event of Smart City Tech Week. Venturas Group is a city tech business builder and investor. My name is Serena. I am the Associate Director of Development Department of CLP Group in Hong Kong. I am the moderator for today's session. The theme is Smart Energy. Powering change, energizing tomorrow. We are delighted that our 4 panelists are here to share their knowledge with us. We are going to discuss the EV, energy storage, and carbon capture, etc. Now, I would like to invite the panelists to introduce themselves. Sheila, you may start introducing yourself, please. Thank you, Serena, for your introduction. My name is Sheila. I'm the strategy lead of Eureka Innova. I look forward to today's discussion. Thank you for today, and we could learn from other peers. Thank you, Sheila. Now, Mr. Wang, may you please introduce yourself? Hi everyone, my name is Wang Wei. I'm the Investment Director of Volvo Cars Tech Fund, and I'm based in Shanghai. Thank you, Mr. Wang. Now, Mr. Jin, may you introduce yourself, please? Hello everyone, my name is Yadong Jin. I'm the CEO and CSO of Tianjin Anjie IoT for the last 20 years. We are engaging in energy planning, depository, and operation business. So far, we have more than 2,000 clients. We are one of the biggest virtual power plants in China. And in fact, we are the biggest in our field in North China and Northwest China. And I am in charge of the strategic planning and technology R&D, research and development. Thank you very much. Thank you, Mr. Jin. Now, Mr. Ni, please welcome. Hello, everyone. My name is Xiaoyu Ni. I'm from Wuxi. I am the CEO of Jiangsu Smart Energy Tech Inc., which was founded in 2015. Our business is mainly engaging in energy internet. First, providing comprehensive energy service to buildings operators. Second, set up a virtual electric power plant for our clients to interact with the power grid. Third, energy storage, EMS, R&D, and service to help our clients to unleash their potentials. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Ni. Now, I'd like to invite Sheila and Mr. Wang to introduce where their companies are heading to in terms of smart energy or electric vehicles. Sheila, may you please start? Thank you, Sabrina. Thank you, everyone, to come here. Eureka Innova is a platform for innovation under the New World Development Group. Our mission is creating shared value, empowering startups to solve real business problems. Firstly, I'd like to introduce our group. You may be familiar with our business in K11 and jewelry parts. But actually, our entire business platform covers from construction industry, property management to hospitals, etc. Within our ecosystem, we are looking for different technologies, including property technology and energy tech. And particularly, we are also very interested in tech on sustainable development and apply it into our business. These technologies are and will be used by our clients. We use the startup innovation programs to convert the concepts into real business. Together with the banks, our partners, we turn different innovation concepts into reality. Our accelerator program is divided into two big parts. The first part is called Impact Commons. It is a startup accelerator in Hong Kong that offers a common platform for high impact startups to collaborate with the new world group businesses, sustainability experts, and global partners to scale solutions that fulfill the United Nations Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, for a better tomorrow. This program was designed by New World Sustainability and Eureka Nova. The second part is called the GBA Accelerator. It is a robotics and AI startup accelerator designed to help companies scale across the Greater Bay Area, which has a pretty good demand. Startups that participate are all equipped to pilot their solutions in specific case studies developed in the New World ecosystem. Therefore, it mainly helps these startups according to their aims. We have an internal team to identify those startups to integrate into the New World Group's business and partners. Through communicating with the startups, we help them find a suitable point in their business model for corporates, and in the meantime it can help us reduce our costs and allow us to be a fast mover in business. This is a win-win solution. In addition to our accelerator program, we also have corporate venture capital. Our team will contact those startups that they're interested in. Once our team have decided that the technology is good enough, we will refer them to our venture capital development department. So our colleagues will follow it up to make a smooth operation inside our ecosystem. This is the highlight of our programs for the last few years. In our system, we have about 4,700 different startups networks. We have had 97 business integrations since 2020. Our integration conversion successful rate is around 67%, which is a very good percentage, for which we are very proud of. We are also proud that we have helped these startups to materialize their technology. As I mentioned earlier, we are interested in property, sustainability related to technology and fintech. And these are, like I mentioned before, our goals. And this is a list of some of our successful projects. I'd also like to mention our successful cases, one of which is with DH Force, which is quite relevant to our topic today. It is an innovative technology company with a mission to make energy universally accessible. Basically, it is a mobile charger for the electric vehicles as their business. We use their G60 mobile charging robots at K11 in Shanghai to provide electric vehicle owners who park at K11 shopping mall and use fast charging. We encountered different challenges when we utilized the technology. For example, the available charging spots in office buildings are very limited, and the power grid has reached its maximum capacity. So with another new charging spot, it comes with a new cost as well as power bills. We both learned that parking garages and shopping malls face such challenges during our initial communication and collaborations. With their technology, DH Force is able to store the power to their G60 charger when the demand is low, and then pause charging at peak hours and convert it to the vehicles. Therefore, this could solve the problem of power shortage in the office buildings, cost challenges, as well as geographic issues. The EV owners can effortlessly scan the QR code on their parking spot using their mobile devices, and then the charging robots will automatically navigate to the designated location and connect the charging cable using a robot arm. Therefore, this guarantees a hassle-free charging experience for our visitors who park at their EVs at K11 shopping mall. We have invested on DH Force through our corporate venture capital. These mobile charging robots were used for 3 months at K11 shopping mall in Shanghai. 800 EV owners used them and they all had very good experience. This is a list of startups that we have helped. We hope we'll have opportunities to cooperate with more startups in mainland China. Here is the list of some of the events we organize with the media with the aim to help our startups and innovation community to get media and ecosystem exposure. Thank you for the support. Lastly, this is our team. If you are interested in our business, please contact us via WeChat. We hope we will have opportunities to cooperate with you in the future. Thank you. Sheila, just now you mentioned DH Force, for which you already had a successful pilot scheme at a K11 shopping mall in Shanghai. I'd like to know more about this because in the past we also use robots for charging and electricity storage. But we found out that the efficiency is a problem. For example, if we store 100 kilowatt hour and in fact we lost 30 kilowatt hour and only 70 kilowatt hour out of 100 could be used. So how did you overcome this problem? This indeed in the market is a big issue. Thank you, Serena. I understand where you come from. Actually, this is one of the reasons we have chosen these charging robots out of many different kinds of charging robots, because these particular charging robots don't lose much power. One of the founders of the startup company used to work for an auto company's energy department in mainland China as a chief product officer. They're able to overcome this technical challenge. We found out the electricity rate in mainland China differs in the morning peak hours and in the evening off-peak hours. I'm also aware that there are other startups have the concept that EVs can use their solar energy to store power, which then can be used for the buildings. This is the first step we took. We will have to see how it goes in the future. Yes, indeed correct. I agree with you, Sheila. You have to start somewhere. Otherwise, you don't know what the result will be. We're talking about electric vehicles here. Now, I would like to invite Mr. Wang to introduce his company because Mr. Wang is the investment director of Volvo Cars Tech Fund. Mr. Wang, may you please share your investment concept with us? Thank you, Serena. Volvo Cars Tech Fund, it was set up in 2018 in Gothenburg. It is a fund in US dollars. Since 2019, we have been looking for investment targets all over the world. Currently, this fund manages a total of 200 million US dollars. So far, we have had 21 investments. Each investment was 1 to 15 million US dollars. And the typical investment targets are A and B. And our investment focuses on the automobile industry. We have two partners, Plug and Play and Drive. Drive comes from Israel. These are incubators. Our fund has 3 missions. First, venture clienting. For instance, connecting with the startups, growing startups to become our strategic partners and suppliers, validating their solutions and technologies. For example, POC, proof of concept. Second, investing. Truly strategic focus, broad active engagement with the entire portfolio. Third, portfolio management, active and responsible shareholder to maximize the value of our investments. This is our team. 2 of them are based in Gothenburg and 2 of them are based in California. And I'm based in Shanghai. There are a total of 11 of us, full-times and part-times. And this is our path from startups to partners. Screening POCs if needed, integration, commercial contracts, and industrialization and implementation. Initially, we identify startups via our partners network or through our in-house staff's recommendation. So far, we have announced 21 investment targets, 3 of which are Luminar, Enjoy-Lag, and Lead Drive. Today, I would like to introduce Enjoy-Lag as it relates to today's session of Smart Energy. And currently, Enjoy-Lag has a few strategic investors, including BP, Renault, Nissan, Mitsubishi, and us. Our assessment of Enjoy-Lag is that its one foot is in the energy industry and the other foot is in the automobile industry. So far, our initial assessment of this company, we have decided to invest in it. We completed our investment on this company last year. The figures show here the battery data of 19 gigawatt hour. Trading data of 32.1 bill, BSS charger solar of 227K, traded data of 4.5 TWh, and capacity of 10 gigawatt based on their business in China or Australia. At Volvo, we use it in Enjoy-Lag to monitor the health condition of the batteries in the electric vehicles as well as charging. In the meantime, we use Enjoy-Lag for data development. We also use Enjoy-Lag to manage the smart energy for our office buildings. So this is our ongoing current project. Here are our other 2 projects. The first one is Luminar, the laser radar. The second is BCom. BCom manufactures the inside and outside accessories for the vehicles. They use linen to produce these accessories, such as the dashboards. Right? They use linen instead of plastic. So this concludes my introduction of Volvo Cars Tech Fund. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Wang. I would like to ask you a question. In terms of ESG, when you are doing this investment of this virtual power plant and the electric vehicles, do you have any ESG ratings? That is to say, when you decide each investment, would you consider ESG impact before you go ahead with this investment? I'd like to clarify, do you mean whether we would consider the ESG impact when we are screening those startups? Yes, correct. Yes, indeed. It is one of the factors we would consider whilst we're making a decision on each investment. Yes, as I mentioned earlier, we chose BComp because they use linen to produce accessories for vehicles. We also have another project which they use bamboo as a manufacturing raw material. So during the screening process, we make sure that ESG is consistent with our ESG target at Volvo. Apologies that I'm cutting in, Mr. Wang. I'd like to ask you a question regarding Enjoylag, because we also had contact with them some time ago. Therefore, I am interested in finding out why you chose this startup. In which aspect do you think they have an advantage? We also like to learn from it. Thank you, Mr. Ni, for your question. As you know, at Volvo, our focus is on cars. In terms of electric vehicles, there's a huge 111 kilowatt battery inside our EV. It has become an energy terminal. Therefore, it is something the traditional automobile industry for which do not have expertise. We have been looking for something that we can work together with, and this company caught our eyes. Enjoylag's technology comes from the automobile industry. In fact, they were engaging in charging and a charging station business. They were even involved in analyzing the big data of batteries. So we can also use their technology in our product development process. So from these 2 points, I think that's why we chose them. Regarding the first question, in terms of ESG, I'd like to ask Mr. Wang, Mr. Ni, and Ms. Jin, respectively. Electric vehicles integrated into the power grid. What kind of challenges are you facing? And do you have any solutions for those challenges? Mr. Wang, you just mentioned that in the past there were only combustion engines inside the vehicles. So you were not in a position to participate in integration into the power grid. But now with the electric vehicles you are in, so it is now a different picture. Do you have any solutions for those challenges? First of all, I'd like to address your question from the perspective of cars. As I said earlier, the biggest battery in our EVs is 111 kilowatt hour, like 0.1 megawatt, that level. So there's a big gap between that and the 3 or 5 megawatt of the power grid. At the moment, it is not realistic to integrate to the power grid. This is to say that it is not that realistic for one electric vehicle to be integrated into the power grid. Yet another thing is the discharging of electric vehicles is very random. So from our communications with the experts, the grid has to be powerful enough at megawatt level. And we can do aggregations of cars. Yes. Okay, thank you, Mr. Wang. So you're not ready yet. How about you, Mr. Jin? In terms of V2G, the power in the EVs can be used by the buildings. Do you have any solutions? Maybe the challenge of direct V2G is too big? From NG's perspective, our position is in between the end users and the power grid. Just now, Mr. Wang actually mentioned the V2G. In Changchun and Tianjin, we're also engaging in the operating business of the electric vehicles. In terms of V2G, our observation is that the concept of V2G is something for the future. Just now, Mr. Wang shared the same observation. The fact is that the power grid is not happy to accept the power from EVs, and the end users are not willing to participate in V2G yet. Maybe we will need more of Volvo's effort to solve it. The cost is high. We therefore seldom bring up the V2G at operational level. I believe the aggregation, as mentioned earlier, has some potentials. The ultimate goal is convenience and saving money. I'd like to bring something from our perspective. The mission of Energising is to seep into all walks of life. As far as the automobile industry is concerned, the transportation industry occupies 8% of the global carbon emissions. Domestic electric vehicles occupies 40% of all the electric vehicles. In reality, this is only a small portion of it. Just now, when Sheila mentioned DH4's charging robots, it also refers to charging the domestic EVs. Now, the biggest challenge in facing us is non-domestic EVs, both public transportation EVs and commercial electric vehicles, because there is no technology available for these non-domestic EVs yet. In China, we're ahead of EVs. For example, in Tianjin, where I am, there are public transportation electric vehicles. And also for the heavyweight electric vehicles at ports and coal mines, they're facing huge challenges. I can give you one example. We have a client at Tianjin Port. The battery in their EVs is 280 kilowatt hour. While fully charged, these EVs can only run 120 kilometers when they're fully loaded. They're very anxious about this because when a cargo ship has arrived, the workers have to meet the deadline to offload the goods from the cargo ship. Therefore, under these circumstances, there's a huge impact on their production efficiency. So I think this is a bigger issue than carbon emission and ESG. The only way I believe is swap. Thank you, Mr. Jean. Now I would like to invite Mr. Ni to share your observations with us, please. Thank you, Serena. Mr. Wang and Mr. Jin have both shared their observations with us. My understanding is that it is a challenge from the commercial model rather than a technological challenge. Mr. Jin just explained that currently the electric vehicle owners are not financially motivated to participate in V2G. Recently in Wuxi, we took part in a demo V2G event involving 50 units of 60 kilowatt, which produced 3 gigawatt fed into the power grid. And also at the end of this August, when the chairman of Jiangsu Province Electric Power Company came to visit us, there was also a demo of multi-EVs which successfully fed 2.4 to 2.5 megawatt power back to the grid. The problem is that this kind of a V2G won't be able to be normalized. As Mr. Jin pointed out earlier, the electric vehicle owners are not financially motivated yet to participate in V2G. I agreed with that. I think swap will be a more friendly interaction between the EV's owners and the power grid. I don't think fast charging is a good idea because it imposes an instant impact on the power grid, which is very unfriendly to the grid. On the other hand, battery swap station provides more stable charging, but it takes a longer time. Therefore, I personally believe it is a relatively better model. And that is for now. Thank you, Mr. Ni. I agree with what you said about the fast charging. It indeed imposes a challenge for power suppliers like us and also the grid management. Okay, my next question is in terms of the energy industry, within your systems and your investments, have you ever encountered the privacy issue? Yes, indeed. Currently, we're considering how to send energy data to our tenants. I think the privacy issue can be easily dealt with through using technology. For example, when we receive big data, we can collect small data from it and put different groups of small data on a platform. Which will be sent to different end users, such as the tenants and the property management staff respectively. I think blockchain can also be used in the future. So we do not have much concerns regarding the privacy issue. Thank you, Sheila. What is your perspective, Mr. Jin? Yes, Serena, this is a sharp question. Actually, someone asked me this question 20 years ago. I'm concerned about this issue for a long time now. This issue is a realistic issue. Sheila just said that at a multi-talent level, definitely this issue can be dealt with. Technology can help with this issue to some degree. In practice, we basically divide our services into two parts. The first part is the private part, and the second part is the public part. Data exposure can be a challenge. I used to work in the communication industry. I remember one of my friends said something very bold. He said, in the internet world, it is impossible to have absolute privacy. We are all naked in the internet world. From my perspective, I think with digitalization of the energy industry, privacy issue will remain as a challenge to us all. This will happen. It is inevitable. I'm afraid that I'm quite pessimistic about this issue. However, I think digitalization of the energy industry is essential. It is a pros and cons for everything. I consider pros are much greater than the cons here. On one hand, I am pessimistic about the fact that information will be leaked. But on the other hand, I am quite positive that we are going to have a new technology which will overcome this issue. For example, our company is engaging in DPC, data protection computing. Apologies that I am rather pessimistic about this issue. We try our best, but it's still unavoidable. I think digital energy is China's strategy will no doubt move forward. In terms of protecting our users' energy data, we will do our best to desensitize and filter these data. We will use technology to address the privacy issue whenever possible. We'll also use technology available to protect the internal layer of the power grid. We currently have pretty mature technology that could solve this problem, and by this means we could protect the safety of internal layer of the power grid, which is very important. Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Ni. Now I'd like to ask Mr. Wang. I'm aware that at Volvo, you're now actually implementing this home energy management system. I'd like to add more about the interaction between your clients and also the vehicles, and how to address this privacy matter, please. At the moment, we're still looking on the home energy management system, but it is not an end product yet. As far as the data protection is concerned, at Volvo, we are strictly abide by the European GDPR. I suppose the business environment here in China is different from that in Europe. All the companies based in Europe are required to strictly comply with the GDPR. Therefore, at Volvo, we comply with the European GDPR, strictly protect the data as required. Our clients and customers can be rest assured that their data will be protected by Volvo. Thank you, Mr. Wang. Regarding investment on infrastructure, on one hand, we're facing the ROI issue, return on investments. Sheila, if you invest on a technology for your properties, you also face the big ROI issue. On the other hand, we need to tackle climate change issue. Therefore, we need to invest on technologies for energy reduction and energy management. So I wonder, how do you manage to persuade your top management team to invest on these technologies? At our department, we do not get involved in investment. It is up to our corporate venture capital colleagues to invest on those technologies. So for us, it is easy to compute ROI. If we can reduce our expenses on our electricity bill, that means our ROI will be improved. Okay, thank you, Mr. Ni. How about you? RIO versus ESG for your clients. What are their solutions? We provide our clients with energy service. Normally, enterprises would expect a good return from their investment within 2 years. For property owners, before they make decisions on any investment, they also need to consider the return on their investment. How much should be invested and how long does it take? Usually, a good return is expected within 2 to 3 years, for which they can make a quick decision. As far as we are concerned, we only advise on them. We will also advise them how to save energy and reduce carbon emissions. We will also use the external expertise to help us provide our clients with the better solutions. We are also looking into collaborating with outside third-party organizations so the clients may enjoy a better return more directly. Such model could potentially benefit our business expansion. And that's my understanding. Thank you. Thank you. How about you, Mr. Jin? This is indeed very important. In terms of carbon emission and carbon capture, it is a sentimental issue. When we are talking about the global temperature will rise by 2 degrees. Some people would think this is far away from them. In order for infrastructure to be of low carbon, you will need to invest substantially. How do we persuade our clients to take this issue seriously? Sentiment will not last long. I have talked about this issue with many of our partners. I suggest we shall divide this into a 3-stage, just like autonomous driving. Divided into L1, L2, and L3 respectively. So L1 refers to necessities. Frankly, I don't see any huge potential in this category at all, as what can be done have already been done. Save energy, the reduced rate, that's already been covered by EPC years ago. This part does not have big potentials. Things that haven't been done will not be done anyway. Unless large corporations like Volvo, K11 that shoulder more responsibilities. However, what percentage do they account for? Not much. So we call it L1. We could do more, but not much. Now let us look at L2. I think the heating facility in North China and the air condition in South China are the main contributors. The heating resource in northern China mainly comes from fossil fuel such as natural gas. And in some places, they even use high carbon materials. To L2, the heating structure must be changed. We computed the numbers. It is very difficult to change the status quo, because it would take 25 years to achieve a reasonable ROI. This is similar to the investment cycle for the New World Development Company, right? This is like investment on infrastructure, which takes a long time to get the return back. In terms of the green agenda, to my knowledge, many government organizations in northern China are very interested, because it is not just a sentimental issue regarding climate change. It is something realistic for them. It is most likely that it won't be affordable for them anymore if they are going to continue using the traditional heating facilities. Therefore, they are willing to participate if they can break even their investment within 25 years. Now let's look at L3. L3 is the combination of sentiment and economic benefits. This could be the best solution. L3 refers to those large industrial enterprises. In Europe, they already turned this carbon issue into carbon border tax. In China, for those non-ferrous and steel enterprises, if they don't produce low carbon products, they won't be able to sell their products. So it's easy to justify. That's why for us, NDA, we adjust our business to L1, L2, and L3. Thank you, Mr. Jin. I think your concept of L1, L2, and L3 is a great idea. This is a good way to balance sentiment and carbon emission target. Now, I would like to conclude today's session. Thank you, everybody. Once again, thank you for joining Venturous Group's annual event. I hope you will find this helpful. Thank you and goodbye.